Better Together podcast.
Welcome to the Better Together podcast from the Fuquay Varina Chamber of Commerce. We're recording today from the Dashmore Conference Room and Studio, sponsored by Rescue Wood Rehab. The Better Together podcast highlights local businesses each week as the Fuquay Varina Chamber of Commerce continues to promote an amazing business community. I'm Marty Woodward from Rescue Wood Rehab, and we are joined by two great guests today. And we have the managing attorney from Center Stephenson and Johnson, Linda Funk Johnson. And you're going to have to tell us a little bit about the funk in here in a minute. And also another attorney from the same firm, Lisa Schreiner, also a board member with the Fuquay Varina Chamber of Commerce, joining us. So, Linda, tell us about your business.
I thought you wanted to know about my funk.
Well, tell us about the funk, too. Either way.
It's funk is a German name. My parents were immigrants after World War II, and that was my maiden name.
That's fantastic. So I'm sure there's a few jokes in there once in a while when you tell people you're Linda Funk Johnson.
Funk you.
Well, yeah, that one works too. That one works too. So, so Linda, what inspired you to get into the law?
Well, actually, for me, it was. I thought about it in high school. I went to college at Fairfield University. I was a business management major, undergrad in German. Graduated in '82, which was the worst time to come out of college. So I decided I'd give law school a roll and give myself 3 more years. And so I went to Quinnipiac Law in Connecticut and focused a lot on tax work, estate planning.
That's fantastic. And yeah, in 1982, we were going into a little bit of a recession.
A big recession.
For those of us who just dated ourselves.
I was only 7.
So, becoming an attorney, what challenges did you face in the beginning?
Well, I was of the group of women where there weren't many of us in the profession at the time. So it's strongly dominated by white men. And so that was our first challenge, was to get through that. Second of all, if you were having a family, that became a challenge, how to juggle your work commitments plus the family, because we didn't have flex time. We didn't have things that were more user-friendly for women. So.
Yeah, that's a huge challenge, and women in the workforce today still face those challenges. Absolutely. What are some unique aspects of Center Stephenson Johnson?
Well, for one thing, we have long established roots in the community. I took the practice over from Larry Stephenson and Jack Center. A little bit of trivia, they were brother-in-laws. They were married to 2 Ashworth sisters of the Ashworths throughout Fuquay.
Long-term name in Fuquay Varina, absolutely.
And they had an amazing real property practice. If any kind of, we call it dirt, was closed in southern Wake County, it was probably by Larry or Jack. So we still have all that title work somewhere. And so we brought to that practice, after Larry and Jack retired, we brought our estate planning, estate administration to the real estate. And I picked up doing public administrator work for Wake County in the guardianship estate administration area also. So that's another leg. Lisa brought to us great skills with estate administration, guardianship, but she has some litigation skills she uses in that area. Plus, she had a strong family law background as well.
And so you mentioned some of those services that you offer. Are there any other products, or not products necessarily, but services you offer as a law firm?
Well, we do draft estate planning, and we can administer the estate after the individual's passed away. If you become incompetent and you don't have powers of attorney in place, or the agents under those documents are perhaps being abusive, we might have a guardianship in place. We do all related tax work to it as well, and real estate, because that is really the backbone of the practice, or it was.
Okay, yeah, and certainly a lot of real estate stuff going on in this area, no doubt. So what kind of differentiates your practice from maybe some other practices that are out there?
Well, for one, we're an all-female law office, and we
Okay.
have been for years now, since Larry and Jack retired. And second of all, our other attorney, Carrie Hepburn, she is also a combined CPA, along with being a phenomenal draftsperson. And Lisa has the background we spoke about. We can also do our own tax work. I'm one of the kind of the geeky people who likes designations, so I'm a board certified specialist in estate planning and probate. I've been nationally recognized as an estate planner in a group called ACTEC, American College of Trust and Estate Counsel. You have to be peered into that. It's not something you can apply to, so that's been a huge thing. I've spent a lot of time in the Bar Association doing all the activities from chair, board of governors. We do a lot of charitable work and gifting of funds. So I'm currently the chair of the North Carolina Bar Association's foundation in the development area. So it provides amazing programs to offer free legal services to North Carolinians. And so for us, that goes hand in hand with our practice of law. It's giving and helping. So,
And can I chime in? She understates herself, but due to her reputation for excellence, many lawyers come to us to fix problems either they have encountered or they don't want to deal with. So Linda has become the go-to person in Wake County for problem estates, problem guardianships, problem real estate titles. We've also have a growth of young people that failed to do estate planning, and then we require minor guardianships because of the real estate component in there. So she's really become, and I think that distinguishes her from many of our peers in the community, as the fixer-upper. Like, she fixes the worst of the worst.
Yeah, and a mentor to others who may need some help. Yeah, absolutely. That's fantastic. And you talked a little bit about some of the community involvement that you've been a part of. And Lisa, we're going to put you on the spot with your community involvement here in just a moment. But are there some other community involvement things that, Linda, you've been involved with?
sure. So I definitely was going to give Lisa the shout out for the 20 plus years of organizing Run the Quay, which is immense. I think it's a year-long planning undertaking. But we have been very involved because where we're located in the downtown area. So I worked my way through Fuquay Varina Downtown Association to become its chair at one point. And so we believe in the downtown and supporting it. Let's think what else we've done. I did a lot with breast cancer for a period of time.
Helene Relief, you and Steve.
My husband runs a truck company, flatbed freight, so
Okay.
whenever we can. Most recently, it was up in the mountains, Helene. He ran about 5 trucks of supplies out of Fuquay Baptist. So we're willing to step up and do the volunteer work. We ran Grief Share for about 6 years out of Wake Chapel. Trying to think. Like I said, I did a lot with breast cancer when I first got diagnosed, and I touched on being a public administrator. But that is definitely a mission field because you're walking in many times into a very volatile situation where the family's not getting along, and we have to kind of go in and take it over and do the thing. But you have to really want to help people to step out into that world.
Yeah, there's so many things to unpack, and just all those comments that you just made. A survivor, number
Breast
one,
cancer,
and,
yes.
and congratulations on that, which is tremendous. Yeah, and your involvement in the community when you own a business or you're part of a community, you just can't help but get involved, right?
Correct. Correct.
It seems like you've instilled that also into those that work with you. And Lisa,
I think we attract those people.
You attract
'Cause
each
if you
other,
don't
yeah.
if you don't want to give back, and same thing with my staff, since they do help with the guardianships and that type of thing, everybody gives a little bit. I mean, because that's what we're called to do, I think.
Yeah, if you don't want to get back, there's probably another place you can go work, right?
You
kind of
won't
thing.
like it with us.
You won't like it with us, yeah. So, and just a quick shout out for Run the Quay. 20 years, Lisa, you've been intimately involved with that. Leading that over that time. And tell us just a little bit about that passion and how that kind of connects to what you do in your legal profession.
So, I mean, life is really like a marathon, like running. Like, you can't do stuff like high intensity for, a long period of time. So, a lot of stuff, what we do is long term involvement in stuff, building stuff, becoming involved in the community. Building Run the Quay. We started at 200, 300 people at the First United Methodist Church, and we were over 2,200 in 2019 and continue to grow. Our race has become sort of the model for other, imitation is the greatest form of flattery. Holly Springs stole their race name from us. Apex stole their race name for us. People have taken on the challenge and modeled it after us with Precision Race. They refer people to us, and I think I'm probably the go-to person for that, or, Linda's the go-to person for the hard, estate stuff. But yeah, I mean, I joined the chamber immediately when I came to Fuquay. I had my own little practice, and Linda actually took me out to lunch in what used to be bull feathers and welcomed me to the community. And then Tommy Broadwell brought me onto the board, so I served 6 years back in the day, took 10 years off, and now came back to Fuquay and back on the chamber on my second leg of a 2-3 year term. So
you've certainly
being
done
here in our community with Linda and her passion and my passion, I think together we do a lot for the community. She was the Easter chicken.
Oh, I forgot my Easter chicken.
There's an Easter chicken.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she was the Grinch.
And the
And the
Grinch.
Grinch.
The Grinch and the Easter chicken. So you've heard it here today, folks. We are among royalty. We got an Easter chicken and the Grinch. So, wow, that's tremendous. And certainly two forces to be reckoned with here out of Linda and Lisa. So, I'll turn it back to Linda here. So, what lessons have you learned from having, owning this practice and running this practice? What lessons have you learned?
First of all, as you well know, since you own your own business, it's a lot of work. You have to be able to give out the quality work that people are coming to buy from you, be it a product or a service, but someone has to empty the trash and do all the minor things too, right? In the beginning, you have to wear lots of hats. And I think that you have to understand also that, I know it's an old quote, but the buck stops here, the buck stops with you. Like, I'm ultimately responsible for what happens at my firm. So, and the same thing with you. If someone's unhappy or they're just dissatisfied, you have to be able to step up and graciously take that criticism. So
Absolutely. So, and can you offer any advice maybe for an aspiring entrepreneur or someone who wants to maybe open their own practice? What would you say that's the key piece of advice I would offer?
So each of us, our brains are wired a certain way, and mine is wired by numbers. So that if I don't understand the transaction, if I don't understand how the numbers are flowing, I can't write the documents, I can't check the transaction, I can't do it. Many small businesses fail in the first year because they don't understand their numbers. Just because there may be cash in the bank, that doesn't mean that they're profitable. And so I think it's really important for any small business, if you don't have that skill set, find a good friend that does, because you need a bookkeeper, you need a CPA, but you need someone to keep you on track.
Yeah, surrounding yourself with the people that have those skills, it makes a huge.
I think it's so
huge
important.
difference.
If you don't understand that, the business will fail.
Yeah.
So
what future goals do you have, or future projects maybe for your practice?
I think that we need to continue to move ahead with all the new and upcoming technology. That would be a good goal for our firm. But as the ladies in the office told me at lunch today when I asked that question, they said they're just hoping to make it to Friday, because every day presents its unique set of challenges, and some days you just crawl out of there on Friday and happy you made it.
Yeah. So we've talked a lot about artificial intelligence, AI, influencing everything, and
Correct.
I'm sure it has has come across to, your desk many times, like, how to use it, how not to use it, maybe.
Right.
Because if you don't like to read and understand things, then you probably shouldn't be an attorney, I would suspect, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So, we've talked a lot about your practice. So, when you like to go hang out in Fuquay Varina or in this area, do you have a favorite spot?
Well, you're going to laugh at the first one. So Lisa and I are both in agreement that Merrill Norman is our favorite pit stop.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you got to stop off. All right.
And I love Ashworth. There's nothing like good quality clothing. It's just amazing. And Eric is fabulous also, but Steve can remember a customer's measurement and size, even if they haven't been in years. He can still remember all that for my husband. And so I find that just amazing, besides the quality and the good service you get there. So
Absolutely. Ashworth Clothing, a staple of North Carolina. Well, of North Carolina as well, specifically Fuquay Varina, North Carolina. So,
And because of, again, our proximity, I'm a big fan of El Cantorito,
okay.
right across the street. They probably see me 3 out of 5 days for a takeaway lunch.
Okay. Yeah. That's fantastic.
How about yourself, Lisa?
So I know Linda, like, again, not, she is very gracious and purchases us, or we have a meal together at least once a week, and we patronize many different restaurants in Fuquay. And today I think it was My Way, maybe.
My Way.
Yeah, Chinese.
On the other side.
Yeah. I just love where we are. We, walk to any of the local establishments, and her location, I think, is just phenomenal. Being very plugged into everything that's Fuquay.
Right in the center of it all.
Right in
Yeah.
the heart of it all.
Yeah, and we do have some fantastic restaurants and spots and other retailers, obviously, in this area, and it's great to have the experience to go to so many of them, and I'm sure you've
I
had
have
that.
to tell you, I'm pretty excited. I went there maybe like a week ago. So in Varina, next to the Brick, is
The
it Luca's?
Lucy Blues?
Lucy Blues,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yes, yes.
That was amazing.
I've actually had the opportunity to be a part of that. Their furnishings, a small part, but nonetheless, the Kim over there is just fantastic.
And their charcuterie boards are over the top. And they have great wine selection. It was just a really fun experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. Another great new business here in Fuquay
Yeah,
Varina.
and I really think Fuquay is getting to the point where we really have it all here. Like, just neat stuff that you almost don't have to leave town anymore, hardly.
Yeah, there's a time when you had to go to one of those other cities that maybe had like 4 letters in it.
Yeah.
That's close to Raleigh.
Yeah.
And now you don't have to do that anymore. So that's fantastic. Is there a bit of business advice that you've ever received that is the best? What was the best business advice?
Someone shared with me when you need to be upfront and transparent with your clients, and you need to set expectations so that they're not disappointed in you and you aren't frustrated because they're expecting something you cannot do. But if we don't talk about it, no one's going to know. So I think that's, to me, the best. If you can't get to something till 6 weeks out, please tell the person you can't do that for 6 weeks, because that'll keep everybody's patience and frustration level at bay.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic advice, because you're keeping everything so not everybody's necessarily happy, but everybody is content enough to
Well, they just
that's what my expectation is, right?
That's what they understand.
And
Yeah.
I think one advice she gave me in the beginning is you've got to have an outlet, like activity, exercise. She's an avid biker and walker with some of the breast cancer stuff. And I want to say early on, that was a bit of advice she gave to me, like, you have got to have an outlet. You have got to exercise or whatever brings you enjoyment, and not just do the work. Because when you're a sole business owner, you could really
It never ends.
lose connections to life and exercise and whatever. And life, we see through our work, life is way too short. Bad stuff happened to very young people, and so to have the exercise and the entertainment and the connections with friends and family is so important. Don't lose sight of it for a business, and she does such a good job with
That's
that.
fantastic. And it sounds like Linda creates an environment that allows you to do that and almost expects you to do that, right? To care for yourself and all those things.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful.
We have a bookkeeper that we have to beg to take vacation because she won't take it. But she
Push him out the door.
I'm like, you need to go and take your time.
Yeah.
I said, you need to go because we love her, but she needs to go.
It's good for all of us.
It's good for everybody to get a little break. And we all know when we've hit that point, right? When we go, like, I need to check out for a minute. Yeah. That's awesome. Is there one like crazy surprising fact about Center Stephenson Johnson?
I wouldn't say that it's a surprising fact about the practice because I did share we started in 1953 and Jack and Larry were brother-in-laws, but I don't know how many people know that the building itself was built, the main part of the building was built in 1934. It used to be a telegraph office and there was an eye doctor in there. So in the little yellow room, that was the eye doctor's room. So
Telegraph office and eye doctor. Wow, that's
from
fantastic.
30
From 1934.
The whole building wasn't connected, right? Didn't you connect all the spaces?
I did not, but Mr. Honeycutt did. So between K and B and the law office, there's 2 more storefronts where we all have our offices. That used to be open because they used to drive showroom cars there because K and B used to be a car dealership way back in the day.
Right.
So Mr. Honeycutt, probably in the 60s, he took all that and bricked it up and in the back, and he did wood in the front and made 2 storefronts out of it.
That's tremendous. And there's so much history in Fuquay Varina, and obviously the fact that it's one town and one station that became 2 towns or became one town. It's amazing. And hearing all the history about it, we're learning that on the podcast as we go through and interview people. So yeah, that's fantastic. Linda, tell us where our listeners out there can find you. What's the best way to track down Center Stephenson and Johnson?
Well, with our phone number from 1953, so we're 919-552-4707. I think it's still listed as Jack Centers from there. And we physically are at 114 Raleigh Street, and our web is ssjlaw, samjohnsonlaw.net. Yes,
and we'll list your website on the credits at the end of this podcast. And I want to thank you so much. One more thing I want to ask you about. You've got some upcoming speaking engagements, both of you actually. If you wanted to shout those out real quick.
Sure. So I was just invited to speak at the American Legion. So a fun fact about me is I used to be a military spouse. So my husband was a field artillery officer, and I ran his family support group. And so I'm going to go to the Legion. I think they're having some type of service day, so I can talk with the veterans about their estate planning needs and what they need to do to get everything sorted. And I think Lisa's also going to do the same.
Yes, so for the last couple years, the Fuquay Varina Lions Club has been a partner with Run the Quay, and they have, through that connection, got to know me and have asked me to speak at the Lions Club regarding estate planning and answer questions they might have. So that'll be in October. So you just got to make connections, plugged into the community.
It is amazing. And during our podcast, we've made so many connections and realized that there were connections that we had no idea were there. And I want to thank both of you. Lisa, thank you so much. And thank you for being a tremendous part of the Chamber of Commerce, obviously on the board and Run the Quay. And Linda, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for being with us. Yeah, this has been tremendous. Thank you out there to all of our listeners for participating in the Better Together podcast, a podcast from the Fuquay Varina Chamber of Commerce, as we highlight great local businesses each week. We will see you again because we are better together. Perfect. Leave that part in. Leave the cheering in, Brad. Leave the cheering in. Yeah.
We're better together. It's a weekly podcast. We're better together. You should know that there's more in the dash. We're better together. Fuquay Varina, Chamber of Commerce. We're better together podcast.